With over 8 million adults suffering from it, debt is one of the UK's biggest problems. People in the UK owed £1.524 trillion at the end of February 2017. Gambling and bad budgeting are among the most common causes of debt. It is also estimated that around 2/3 of students in the UK will never pay off their debt. But what exactly is causing all this student debt? The answer might not be as obvious as you think. Most people would assume that students spend all their money on shopping sprees or reckless drinking, and in some cases that may be partially true. They aren't actually the biggest causes of student debt. Here at City of Glasgow College, we spoke to the finance department to get to the bottom of why so many students are struggling with debt at such a young age.
They apply for the student loan, but they don't always complete the form. That they have to tick the box for tuition fees. Therefore, when we send them our invoice, it's a total shock. So they're halfway through their course and all of a sudden they're chasing them for payment because we haven't received anything from SASFL.
Student retention is another thing. I mean, that students need to be aware that if they do leave a course early, there could be a fee, because if they leave before SAS's cut-off date, they could have a fee to pay. SAS won't pay their fees, so they need to bear that in mind as well.
We managed to grab someone from Student Services to talk to us a bit more about what help is offered to students who are deeply stressed or struggling with their debt.
But our advisors would sit with students to ensure that all the funding that they are eligible for they have sourced, as well as obviously helping them with a hardship fund. So it's sourcing the websites of the colleges and of SAS, get all that information first, calculate what your costs are going to be, and if they feel I need the loan, then certainly apply for it, but I would look at every other avenue first.
Almost everyone in the UK takes part in at least one form of gambling, whether that be online betting, casinos, or even just buying a lottery ticket. Yet what people seem to ignore is that all problems start off small and escalate until you're in too deep. Gambling is no different. What starts off as a bit of fun with friends can snowball into huge amounts of debt and even addiction. Gambling in moderation is harmless. However, for many students, the idea of a big win can be all too enchanting. Similarly, as students take their loan or get a job, for many, this is the most money they will have ever had control of. Gambling can lead to stress, insomnia, alcohol problems and other health issues which can seriously affect your life. Gambling problems can cause a significant amount of debt, which is hard to control, which may lead people to taking out payday loans. In many cases, people are too embarrassed to come forward about their gambling debt and ask for help. We spoke to a second-year college student who only used gambling recreationally and is now in a huge amount of debt.
I'm Hamish Blair and I'm a student at City of Glasgow College, HNC Technical Support.
Did you take out the student loan?
I did, yeah. I find I manage it alright, just because the experience of last year in the bursary.
Have you ever gambled?
I have, yes. I used online and I went to a casino. The online was done through a system of game items that were valued at real money, and you'd deposit it in and then you'd have a balance, and you could use it to do like coin flips for money, or like jackpot, put in money and chance to win. I sort of realised when I was putting like over £100 bets on, and it sort of just started getting to me like, this is a lot of money, what am I doing? Think about the money you've got and don't work out how much like you need. Definitely you need that. And if you've got extra, then maybe, I guess, a wee bit. But I'll try and stop it because it's a bad habit.
Payday loans originated in America but have become very popular in the UK over the past 8 years. These payday loans cause many problems as they are seen as a quick fix. The average payday loan debt in the UK is £1,657. In recent years, more people are using payday loans as they are so convenient, with some companies promising your money to be within your account in 15 minutes. These companies are not even checking their clients before lending money, which is why so many people are in such a big amount of debt due to payday loans. Since January 2015, when the Financial Conduct Authority took over the payday loan sector, there has been many changes to the industry, which was once worth $2 billion. A price cap has been put in place, meaning that lenders can charge up to 0.8% per day and charge no more than £124 per £100 borrowed, whereas before there was no limit on what could be charged. These changes were designed to make payday lenders more selective of who they lent to. Companies that failed to do this would be fined, such as payday giant Wonga, who were fined over £200 million. In order to find out more, I decided to speak to Stuart Carmichael, the manager of a debt charity who has seen firsthand the financial damage that payday loans can cause.
Payday loans are popular because they enable people to get fast credit. So people can apply potentially on a mobile phone, never speak to anybody, and have money in their bank generally within 24, 48 hours. The money is transferred instantly, and for some people it is an easier process than going to the local bank to ask for money.
Do you think that the cap on APR has helped prevent people getting into further debt?
No, I don't think it has. It doesn't necessarily matter about the APR rate for a lot of people. It's more about the personal and financial circumstances. So if it's, for example, Wonga is one of the more expensive payday lenders that are out there, for a lot of people they'll be able to pay back a Wonga loan, whereas for another lender they may not be able to pay back the loan. It's not necessarily the amount of money you have to pay, it's the financial situation that they actually face. If somebody can't afford to pay back £100, well, they're not going to be able to afford to pay back £250. So the APR cap isn't necessarily making any difference. What I think has made a difference for a lot of people is the rollover periods, where I'll borrow £100 and have to pay back £125. And then what happens is I can't afford to pay it back, so they roll over into a new loan. That 125 becomes maybe 175, and that just keeps happening. And people get into a cycle where they couldn't afford to repay the 125, and now they can't afford to repay 400, and the debt just grows. So the fact that the rollover periods have been capped, and the fees that can be charged have been capped, I think that certainly helps. Not necessarily interest APR rates. We recommend for people that are actually looking for a payday loan to look at a similar product that goes through possibly a credit union. A lot of credit unions have got short-term lending facilities where you can borrow £500 and repay it over, say it's 6 months, and it's far cheaper than doing it through a payday loan company.
But what about the people behind the loans? According to the BBC, there is no official statistic on how many people have used payday loan companies. However, Consumer Focus did estimate in 2012 that around 1.2 million people took out around 4.1 million loans in 2009. An especially scary statistic states that in 2008, £9 million was taken out in the form of payday loans. Over the last few years, payday loans have taken over the high street market. Although in 2015 the cap was introduced, people still managed to get themselves into serious debt trouble through the use of these quick and easy payday loans. Although payday loans can be very necessary for someone in need of quick cash that they can easily pay back, many people, especially younger people, have been using payday loans like they're simply bags of cash to be used. This is a dangerous road to walk, as it can lead to people feeling upset and left cheated out of their money. However, some people swear by payday loans, claiming that they are brilliant. Again, we spoke to Stuart Carmichael about how people get into trouble with payday loans and how they can get out of their debt.
We'd see all sides of it. Some people swear by payday loans. I mean, they love them because whilst they're paying back a higher rate of interest, it's so much easier to get the money in the bank and they know to pay it back. Yeah. But it's like anything, everybody always borrows with the intention to pay back, but if something goes wrong,
You're stuck.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
And with payday loans, that's often the case. I borrow it, I plan to pay it back, lost my job, can't pay it back, debts increase. But there have been some changes in the legislation. About a year ago now, things like rollover periods, so rolling debts over, and the maximum amount a person can be charged based on the initial loan is maximised at twice the amount of money they actually borrowed, so they can never pay more than that. That's why we're seeing a lot of payday loan companies now ceasing to exist and stopping, because they can't make money at it as well as they once could. The caps are there now, so it makes it significantly harder for them to charge. You know, a debt that was originally £500 up to £2,500 just doesn't happen anymore. So the charity does help people with payday loan debts, amongst others. There are always solutions to get back out the other side. It's just knowing what those solutions are and what the implications are. So we always tell people, if you want face-to-face advice and you're not in Glasgow, best people to go to is the Citizens Advice Bureau. If you want telephone advice or you're in Glasgow and want to come in and see us, to anybody, we'll say, come in and have a chat. Pick up the phone, have a chat. Send us an email and we'll do it over the email. But for some people, they just don't know where to turn. So
seeking help is always the best option when dealing with debt. No matter how embarrassed or ashamed you feel, there are multiple companies all over the world that specialise in dealing with debt solutions. All debt solution companies will always try their best to help you and keep you anonymous. We sat down and spoke to Alex McGarvery at Simple Finance Solutions about debt in Scotland, specifically about debt amongst young people in Scotland.
We see a lot of gambling, a lot in their bank statements, and I feel that's a mixture again. So you're probably talking in ranges of 22 to probably 45. You know, I wouldn't say it was just young people, but there certainly is people that borrow for gambling purposes. So the average household debt that's in Scotland just now is probably in the region of about £8,500 is probably the average debt level that someone finds themselves in. But we do see, you know, when it was pre-credit crunch, the average debt was up at £20,000, so it has come down. The reason why it's come down is due to the fact that lenders haven't been lending out as frequent as they were at pre-credit crunch. It's probably, you know, we don't really see 18-year-olds to 22-year-olds at all. You know, the probably average age that comes through would be 25 and onwards, right? Younger people tend to, I'll just keep that there and I'll service the debt, and what you tend to find is you guys have got a lot of disposable income. What do I mean by a lot of disposable income? Well, you're not paying for rental, big cars, all that type of stuff, so all your disposable income is going on, you're servicing your debt and your nights out, you know, and that's it's affordable at that point in time. And what tends to happen is that you know, 18 you've got £2,000 worth of debt, 22 you've got £4,000 worth of debt, 26 you've got £8,000 worth of debt, and the cost of servicing those debts increase, obviously due to the nature of the loan amount. And then it becomes, if you don't increase your income through that period of time, which is very hard to do, then you're going to find yourself in trouble. But the first thing you should really look at is what's your incomings, what's your outgoings, and you know, can I afford to pay back my creditors? And if the answer to that is no, then you should seek advice. As long as you know how much you can afford to pay your debts, then as long as you know what your disposable income is, then you can borrow money. But if you don't know what your disposable income is, then you know you wouldn't really know how much you could actually afford to borrow, and that's a big problem. So how does someone work out what their disposable income is a great question. What they would do is they would take their income and then they'd look at their essential outgoings. So what is your essential outgoings? It is your shelter, food, travel, and that's it. That's essential outgoings, you know. So after that is what you've got to play with, and therefore you can either take that and play with it and go nights out, or you can take that money and look to pay off your finance. What people tend to do is they don't even know what that figure is, and therefore when they find out the cost of servicing their finances is like £700 a month, which is maybe 50% of their income, which means inevitably they're going to hit that wall, because what happens if they have a bad month?